Hello everyone, happy Saturday. This is Nick Venegoni coming to you live talking about Queer Journey Circles workshop. And I'm excited to welcome my new Periscope viewers as well as being here on Facebook Live. For those of you on Facebook, if you would like to switch over to Periscope, you can find me through Periscope at Holistic San Fran. That would probably be the best way, or you can search my name, Nick Venegoni. And we're here today to have a little live Q&A. This is my third one in the series of 4 on Queer Journey Circles, Reclaiming Power and Dignity, which is a workshop that I'll be offering in Berkeley on Saturday, November 5th. And just to let you know, anytime during this presentation, you can feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section, and I'm happy to respond to them live. And if we don't get to those, or you're watching this recorded, you're welcome to leave a question in the comment section, and I will get to it later on. So today we're going to talk a little bit about power and what that means and how we're going to work with it in the workshop. So for those of you who may have seen the previous videos, I talked a little bit about queer people's experience of trauma and how we can lose power through that experience of trauma, and also when I talked a little bit about microaggressions and how we lose power in that experience as well. But I just want to throw out the question, what comes to mind for you when you think about power? When you feel powerful, or when you hear other people feel powerful, or what it means to just have power. So that is a really charged word and a really charged concept for a lot of people, because a lot of people feel disempowered. They don't like to feel power over by other people. They want to, people who want to take your power. It's a big concept, and it's really important that we learn how to have a healthy relationship with power, especially to our own power, and how we relate to other people's power as well. So I just want you to take a moment and really feel into a time where you have felt powerful. Or what's it like to not ever have had that experience of feeling powerful? So what I want to talk a little bit about now is the difference between feeling like you have power over versus feeling empowered. So really, power over is the idea of, or the experience of having power over someone else or something else. And it's really about control, I think. And a lot of people really want to feel power so that they can feel in control, because they don't feel like they have a lot of control in different parts of their life. But there's a difference between having power over and just feeling empowered. And I think that difference really comes from a sense of feeling grounded in your own self, in who you are and your ability to really stand up for yourself. And a lot of times feeling powerful is just a matter of feeling strength in your body, really feeling the muscles in your body holding you up, and how you feel powerful and how you feel strong, just being able to move your body and being able to move other things with your body. So sometimes just the act of exercising, or getting out and moving around, or playing a game, or playing a sport, or some kind of activity can feel really empowering, because we feel powerful in our body. Then there's the idea of being powerful in our mind, feeling a sense of self-worth and self-esteem, and feeling powerful in that way. How do we feel about ourselves and the way that we relate to other people, and feeling good about who we are, and just feeling powerful and strong and secure in that way. And then when we get to the deeper level and the more subtle level of power and feeling powerful and feeling grounded and solid in our power is the idea on a more spiritual or energetic level. And you may have heard the terms your life force energy from such concepts as Chinese medicine. You know, they talk about your qi moving through the meridians, like with acupuncture. Or there's also the idea of prana, for those of you who practice yoga and do any kind of breathing activity or breathing exercises, or pranayama as it's called. There's a certain amount of energy and power that comes through the breath that is also a form of spiritual and energetic power that is moving through your body and through your spirit with oxygen and with breath. And so all of these are different forms of power and different ways of holding power in your body and relating to power in your body and your mind and your spirit. And so what we're really focusing on in the workshop is how do we reclaim power that we may have lost through our queer identity, through queer wounding, and a variety of experiences. And it could have been power that's taken from us on an emotional level, on a mental level, or it could be power that has been taken from us on a physical level. If someone just said, oh, you're too weak, you can't do that, and not given you the opportunity to really exercise your power just through the strength of your body. Or on a more subtle level where there's, that feels a little bit on the boundary of the spiritual and the psychological, such as microaggressions or homophobia, where someone is not directly taking power away from you, but really on a more subtle level, and this is where we get into the manipulation of power, particularly through judgment, is a really common way that people take power and try to feel like they want to have power over us because maybe they don't like us or they don't agree with who we are as a queer person or for another reason. So I'm not sure if I've talked about this in a previous video, but from a spiritual and shamanic perspective, this concept is called power loss. And so what we'll be working on in the workshop is looking at the ways that we've experienced power loss as queer people, and how do we go and retrieve and reclaim that power and bring it back to us and reintegrate it into our self, into our lives, into our spirit. So I have a question coming up. I'm going to read this. So someone says, I used to suffer from Mr. Nice Gay, but I got over it and has become more authentically me. Okay, that's really great that you've been able to really look at how that experience of being considered a nice person might also sometimes be perceived as maybe being less powerful and maybe being a little bit of a pushover. I'm not sure if that's your experience, but definitely there's a way of balancing how do I be nice and how do I still be powerful and how do I not let people push me around. And again, these are all ways of really looking at specific incidences or memories or feelings of having our power taken from us or how it is lost, and how we can go back and reclaim that power and retrieve it and really integrate it into us. And we'll be using a particular practice called the shamanic journey, which is a active meditation practice where we will be going back to particular incidences and working through the imagination, through the mind, through images, through energy to really go back and reclaim that power through from those experiences. Let's see, I'm checking in with my notes here to see if there's anything else I want to say about that. So I guess I'll just take a pause here to see if there's any other questions that come up about power loss or power retrieval and how we'll be doing that. And while anyone is coming up with any other questions or comments they'd like to make, I'd like to just remind people that, again, if you have questions in the future, you can leave a comment below and I will get to it in the future. And I also wanted to just remind people that if you didn't see, I posted on Facebook earlier this week, I believe, that I'm also offering, there are still 2 work trade positions open, so if anyone has some financial challenges and they really feel called to do this work at the workshop, but there's a little bit of a struggle around finances, you can always contact me and we can talk about a work trade. Or if finances are just a little bit of a struggle, I'm also offering payment plans so people don't have to pay all the way up front before the workshop. Because I really want to make this work accessible to everyone who feels called to do this work and is ready to do this work and is really interested in attending and being part of the group. So again, the workshop is on November 5th, that's Saturday, November 5th, from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. at Tara's Temple in Berkeley. And you can register online, and if you're on Facebook, there's a link there, or if you go to my website, it's holistictherapysf.com, and you can find a link to the Queer Journey Circles workshop in the upper right-hand corner there. And then the next and final live discussion that I'll be doing around the workshop will be next week on Friday, October 28th at 12:30. And it's going to be a lunchtime conversation chat. And I look forward to seeing you there. So if anyone else has any other questions, feel free to leave a comment, or you can also contact me directly through my email or on phone if you have any other questions about the workshop or wanting to do a work trade or get some kind of payment plan. But thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to sharing more with you next week on Friday. And have a good rest of your weekend. Take care.